Recording.
Okay, so this call, we are going to, obviously, Kirsten is the best one to talk about this, but she's going to talk about closing VIPs from a hairstylist standpoint, and then also how to approach. So if you guys have a stylist in mind or your personal hairstylist that you want to approach yourself, she's going to give you guys some great tips and just verbiage. And then I guess whenever she talks about the VIP portion, I'll just give you guys a few little tips too, just as far as like closing. I don't think it's any different if you're a hairstylist or not. Closing VIP should be simple and genuine, and just not making it confusing, the process, trying to go into too much detail with it. A confused mind is always going to say no, and that's with anything, a market partner or a VIP. So I'll just let Kirsten kind of take it away and let her give you guys her knowledge, and we'll be here listening.
Okay. Hi guys. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. So what I'm going to start with is how, from a hairstylist point of view who is signed with Monet, approaches their clients who are in their chair about becoming a VIP. So my first tip is to just make sure you start scheduling enough time for yourself. I am the queen of back-to-back colors and being so busy. I'm running around with a chicken with my head cut off. But I think it really benefits me if I have the time to at least 15 minutes after extra on their appointment, so that I know once I'm done blow drying, I'm rescheduling them, because all my clients know they need to reschedule before they leave. Otherwise they're not getting back in. That I can kind of maybe close the sale at that point. So that's one tip. But the biggest game changer to me is actually talking about the products while you use them. So before I was even a Monet stylist, I never would educate people on products I used. I was not a product junkie. I could honestly care less about products. I hated selling. But I think it's because I never really truly loved something. Like there was never a line that I was just like so impressed with that I could speak mountains about it. So when I signed up with Monet and I saw the results and I had clients start using it, it was so easy for me to kind of implement into the process of doing their hair what I was doing. So as simple as, well, I mean, obviously while you're foiling, that kind of thing, I do put rejuvenating oil. I'm a blonde specialist. I do a lot of blonding and natural highlights. So I put rejuvenating oil in my bleach. Most of the time I do that at the chair so that my clients can see it. So I'll mix up the bleach in the back. I bring my bowl, get my whole setup to do their highlights. But then my rejuvenating oil is on my shelf at my station. So I grab that down and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna put this oil in your bleach. It helps just keep your hair a little more bonded, give it more strength. It's the basis of the product line I use, and it's literally gold. And they're like, oh, okay. You know, like, so they already start their appointment off like, okay, she's using like really good stuff in my hair, protecting my bleach. You know, everybody's really scared about bleaching their hair too much. So if you kind of start off with like a foot of like, I'm ahead of the game, they're going to be like, okay. So then, you know, you go through your whole foiling process and you get to the bowl. When you get to the bowl, why not explain to them what product you're using? What shampoo did you choose and why? I'm using the black shampoo. I'm using the black shampoo because it balances the pH of your scalp, whether you have oily hair, whether you have scalp psoriasis, whether you have dandruff, whatever. This is a product that's going to help you balance the pH of your scalp, give you a deep cleanse, and I love the way it smells. It smells minty, fresh. It gives you that like spa treatment of like that tingly feeling. I don't know if you've never used the black shampoo. I know not everybody uses it, but it's my favorite. Sorry, I'm distracted. Something's printing out next to me now. And so from there, then I just talk about the conditioner I'm using most of the time after my blonding treatments. I will do in my toner. We have our bonding treatment. It's the one with the nozzle on it. I legit put that treatment in the person's toner because I typically always tone my people just to give them a long lasting color. And I explain that to them. Hey, this line's great because guess what? We have technology behind this bonding treatment where it's called monozones. Monozones are patented by Monet. Monet has created this treatment for your hair. It helps bond your hair up to 7 days after washing, especially after you brush it, because it reactivates the monozones in the product. You just have to educate yourself and really talk to people about what you're doing. Because then when you start doing that, they're like, what light bulb? This girl knows what the hell she's saying. Like, these products are great. There's science behind it. And you're just really just giving them the cup of tea they want to hear. Why not do that? Then after the bowl, I still continue to do the same thing at the chair. I prep every single client after I wash their hair with Rejuva beads. I would be a crazy person not to. Why? It strengthens the hair shaft. It mends split ends. It, in my opinion, acts as a detangler too. Like, it makes your hair super silky. It makes it easier to brush out. As a stylist and doing blonding shampoo or blonding services, usually you're doing TZ lights. Those are hard to brush out. Like, this is just a product that's going to make it better for you, easier to brush, strengthens your hair, yada, yada, yada. Continue. I'm using the Blowout Cream. It has a heat protectant in it. It fights frizz and humidity. I mean, just take the time to learn your products and literally educate the people that are in your chair, because by doing that, they're going to want to sign up at the end. They're going to want a piece of the pie. They're going to be like, okay, my hair feels amazing, looks great. I need to be on these products. That is the best game changer there is. Be a salesperson, because you're in the position to be a salesperson. People are literally asking you what to do with their hair, especially after a blonding service. If you're somebody like me, then take advantage of it. Be educated about the products you're using and take advantage of the sale. That's the best thing I can tell you. But if I do have a client that is still hesitant, or maybe it's a money issue, clearly they've just spent a good amount of money in my chair getting their hair bleached, whatever. And maybe they're like, okay, next paycheck I can invest in this. Right now, this is all I can afford. I make the point to take their email address down. Okay, well, I'll take your email address. I'll put it on my notes of potentials, and I'll let you know when there's a flash sale to save you more money. It's about them, not you. You want to save them money. They want the products. They want it for the cheapest price because they're on a budget. So I always make a point to take their email down instead. And then that way you can follow up when there is a flash sale, even if they didn't ask you for the flash sale. Hey girl, because I always have my clients' numbers to book whatever, text them, hey girl, there's a flash sale. I know you showed interest in my products. I wanted to let you know that you can buy a conditioner, get your shampoo for $12. It's a great way to start. It's a lower minimum and it's a great budget. Simple as that. If they say no, they say no. But most of the time they're gonna be like, thanks for thinking of me. I really want to try these products. So that's the end all be all. Be a good stylist and educate your people, because it'll pay off. Don't feel scared about it. Don't feel like in a shell. Don't overthink the process. Literally just be who you're supposed to be, and it will pay off. It's just a different product. It's not Redken. It's not Amica. It's not Davines. You're just using Monet. It's the same thing that other stylists do and sell retail, but you're selling Monet and you're making a residual income for yourself, because in the end, these are going to be people for life. I can't tell you how many clients I've left me because they're military or they're moving or whatever, but they're on my product at this point. So now that they've moved away and they're not in the chair and I'm not making money from them behind the chair, I'm still making money from them because they're my VIP and they have great products. So that is my VIP spiel. Do you have anything to add on to that, Jade, or you want me to move into market?
No, I was just going to say everything she said. If you're not a stylist and you're listening to this now, or you're listening to the recording, everything she said is the way and the flow it should be all the time with VIPs. The more you feel confident, which obviously this will take time, but the more you practice and read and take initiative to be educated, even if it's very simple things, you don't need to know 10 things about one product. If you know one thing and you're talking to someone who comes to you because their hair is frizzy or it's damaged, and you spit off 3 or 4 products and explain how this is going to help fix the problem, that's where the trust starts. And if the trust starts from the beginning, that's what makes it an easier flow to have that connection. Because at the end of the day, like she said, we are in sales, but we have the opportunity to be in sales where we're giving people value. Okay. And then you're building that trust and relationship with them. And it just makes the whole thing easier for everybody. And not, like she didn't mention like going into, detail with the FlexShip and the fee and the this and the that, because they're going to see that anyway. When you send the cart, all that information is right there in black and white. So if you say it, then they read it. It just becomes like, this is too much. Like, this seems like too much. If you just say, there's a question, Kirsten. If you just say to them, like, I built your cart, this is exactly everything we talked about to reach your goals with your hair. Whenever you get the products, just send me a quick text, assuming the sale, send me a quick text. I'll tell you how to use everything. And then you can say, what's really cool is that we have like this program. It's basically like Amazon Prime. That's been like my go-to lately. I'm like, it's basically like Amazon Prime. If you need stuff quick and there's not a promotion, then you have a way to order. And whenever you're ready to do that, you just let me know. If you want to order during promos, then either way. When there's not a promo, this is just a way to save money, get a free product and free shipping, and get it fast. Don't go into depth about everything. It just gets very overwhelming. And then they're like, why is she talking like a fee? When they see these things, it's like trigger words: fee, FlexShip, there's no auto ship, there's this, that, and another thing. Simple and clear so that you both feel confident. Other than that, though, like I said, everything she said should be poured right into any VIP conversation. And other than that, that's it. That was great.
The question, I went and read that while you were talking, and it was, do I generally use black shampoo as a stylist, or do I have everything on hand? I have basically everything on hand on my back bar. That's a whole nother story of like my business. Eve's Salon is separate than Hair by Kirsten Lee. So I section myself as Eve Salon as a salon business. I co-own that with somebody, whatever. And then there's Hair by Kirsten Lee, and that's my behind the chair business. So technically I run a salon, I run my behind the chair, and I run Monat. I have 3 businesses that I run within the same thing because I own a salon, but the salon pays for that. And it just kind of is a write-off. That's like I said, it's a whole nother conversation, but I have an entire back bar that's open to all the girls in the salon. I have the purifying scrub. I have the smoothing line. I just ordered 4 of those for the shop when there was a sale. I have not anti-aging. I have, I'm mixing like all of them together. The advanced hydrate. I literally have everything. I have the old smoothing line. I have black shampoo. I have the soothing micellar, because I have a ton of people. You would not believe how many people actually have scalp psoriasis, and the black and the soothing micellar are very good for them. So I keep that on hand, as well as the purifying scrub, because so many people have dandruff that you want to scrub that out for them. So when the time comes when you're styling it, they don't have all this shit on the top of their head and they're like looking at that instead of their color. You know what I mean? So it's all about the experience. And I definitely make sure I have everything on my back bar to use so that I sound the best, they look the best. It's worth the investment. Absolutely. But going off of that, my key points for recruiting a stylist and just things to maybe ask or verbalize. I've done a live on this and it's saved to my page, so you can look at that too, just on my standpoint. But key tips is just like, my main question that kind of goes around this whole thing is, what does the brand that you align yourself do for you? Because if you were to ask a stylist that, they would be on their ass like, I'm not really sure. They provide products for them to use on their clients. They provide retail that they can only sell in their store. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, people can get that online or at Ulta or whatever. It's not exclusive. Even Kevin Murphy, which is also a product that I carry at my salon, it's vegan. It's very hand in hand with Monat, because my business partner really likes it. We use that too. You can buy it on freaking line. Like, Monat is one thing that you have to have a distributor through. We have an up on so many brands because of that. Literally, they cannot get the product without you unless they just go to the site and sign up. And then that's just silly. A lot of people don't do that. They want to have a distributor because they want the experience. So that is like my main question. I'm like, so what does the brand do for you? Do you have a response as a stylist? I guess I'll answer questions at the end. So that's my question. And then usually from there, the conversation kind of can start because there's so many things that Monat can do for a stylist that so many other brands can't. So I always then say, like, my big thing is like, what's your retirement plan? As a stylist, if you do not have an IRA set up for yourself, this is not like a 401k kind of job. Like, you don't pay, part of your paycheck does not go to an account for you to then retire and have down the road. That's absolutely really not going to happen unless you are a commission salon and maybe they have that set up for you. But for me, as a business owner, as a booth renter, it's on me. And I can tell you now, my mom is a hairstylist of 30 plus years, 35 years. And to this day, she tells me all the time how she wished she had an IRA for herself, how she wished she set herself up for a better ending to her career, because she's pushing 60, you guys, and she still works 4 days a week and she's over it. And I don't blame her. I don't want to fucking be doing hair. Sorry, I have bad language. I don't want to be doing hair when I'm 60. I'm sorry. I love doing hair. I love making people feel good. I love making women feel good. There's nothing about being a hairstylist that I hate, but I can tell you right now, when I'm 60 years old, I do not want to be doing hair. I want to be retired. I want to be enjoying my husband because I'm not going to have any kids in my household. I want to be doing all the things that I want to be doing probably by the time I'm 40, 45 max. Like, that's where it ends for me. Like, I can get the same satisfaction of doing hair behind the chair as I can with Monat. And that is like a huge thing for me. A lot of hairstylists really crave the making women feel good, having the conversation, the whole community. And that's exactly what Monat provides for us. We get to make women feel good through our products. We get to have a community, and it just aligns with everything a hairstylist really is. There's just a little bit of pushback. So you have to get through that barrier and show that to them. What else? I have my notes here. Let me read. I also lately have always kind of referenced, like, what is your second plan? So my mom has always embedded this in my head, but she's like, I went to a skiing vacation one time and she's like, you're really going to ski, Kirsten? And I was like, I mean, I thought I was. And I was like, why wouldn't I? She's like, well, if you break a leg or if you break an arm, you're out of work. And I'm like, damn, Mom, that's a good way of thinking of it and a way to ruin my vacation. But she's right. Like, if you go do these kind of things as a stylist, there's potential to, like, if you're not behind the chair, you're not making money. Like, if there's somebody not in my chair at all times, I'm not making income. And that's just the name of the game, especially if you're a booth renter. So, Monat kind of supplements that for me. Like, when I have time off, I'm still making money because I still am able to work from my phone. I'm still able to sell the products. I'm still able to sign up via or MPs and supplement the money when I'm not behind the chair, for when, you know, something like that happens. Say I'm sick and I have COVID. Like, COVID's a whole different ballgame when that happened. I wasn't even signed up with Monat when COVID really hit. And that's kind of what opened up my eyes too. Like, me and my husband, or we weren't married at the time, but whatever, we've been together for 10 years. We both didn't have an income. We were literally rolling lumpia out of my house. That's how my husband has a food truck, with lumpia and Asian food. That's how that came about, because we had no income, you guys. I wasn't making any money. I was a hairstylist. I was doing house calls under the table, or secretly, because you weren't supposed to be doing that as a hairstylist. I could have gotten my license taken away. Hopefully nobody sees this. And because I was trying to make ends meet. But if I was doing Monat, then it wouldn't have been an issue. I would have been able to still make the income, because I could have sold shampoo to people that everybody washes their hair every day. So that is like huge to me. So recap. What does your brand do for you? What is your IRA plan? what is your secondary plan? Like if you were to be hurt, COVID, those kind of things, all huge questions as a hairstylist. And of course, there's a way to approach that. And it really depends on the conversation. I can't really tell you how to say those things to people, but those are huge things that you could try to bring up in conversation about them with their career. And then let's see, the flexibility. I guess flexibility kind of plays into the second plan, in my opinion, because I started my career as a stylist. I was 24 when I graduated, and I shortly got pregnant after that with my first kid, my son Lennox. And I was working at a Supercuts. It sucked. I hated my life. It was 45 minutes away from my house, and I hated everything about it. It was not who I wanted to be. It wasn't who I was meant to be as a stylist, but I knew I had to do something different. That's when I started booth renting, and I just kind of evolved into the person I am over time. Jade was on my butt for a while about these products, and I finally got samples in my hand and signed up. So I know Jade probably tells this to everybody that she comes in contact with, but the sale is always in the follow-up. Like the sale is always in the follow-up. You have to follow up with people. You have to have conversation, and you have to keep it casual. Like even if you ask somebody about this business and pitch it to them and they say no, like I've been working on a hairstylist that I went to school with. And she's like showed interest, said no, whatever. Don't count them out. Like she's thinking about it. She's just on edge, and you have to follow up. You have to follow up always. And then I also like to touch on the fact that retail is a huge part of our business. So clearly people ask you what to use on their hair when they're in your chair. With being a stylist, if you're just selling retail on your shelf, that's great. You make an income, whatever, but you can only reach the people that walk into your salon. With Monat, you can reach people abroad. I can tell you half of my VIPs, you guys, I don't even do their hair. I don't even do their hair. They just come to me because I post on social media. I have a limited schedule, and I've honestly been cutting back because I've been trying to put myself forward with Monat more, create time freedom for myself, and be with my family and not be behind the chair. I recently just cut myself down to 3 days a week. That starts in, I think, 2 weeks, and I'm super stoked about it. So I can be intentional with my time. I can be intentional with my kids. I can hang out with my friends. I can still make the same amount of money I was doing behind the chair, less days, because I'm working with Monat, which is so cool. And I forgot what I was even saying before that. I get so squirrel brain. Oh, retail. So my point is, it's like I have clients in Arizona. I have clients in California. I have clients in New York. I have clients in North Carolina. And some of them are people that I used to do their hair, and now they've moved away. Like I said, they're still my VIP, even though they've moved on. Or it's literally just me posting on social media and being able to reach more people. So why wouldn't you align yourself with a brand that, yes, you can sell on the shelf, but you can also sell it abroad to people, even outside of our freaking country, and make money from it. It's just like a no-brainer. And then on top of that, we all know the perks of the Cadillac, the earned trips, the bonus incentives. You know, like there's so much that this company offers us that no other brand under the sun, not Redken, not Davines, not Moroccan Oil, not Orbe, none of those brands are going to take you to the freaking Bahamas. They're not going to pay for your $500 Cadillac freaking payment a month when you hit that rank. There's just so many things they're not going to do for you. So why not align yourself with a brand that is going to set you up for the life that you want eventually? That's basically my points. I don't know that it's really conversation tips, but it's just things to think about when you're talking to a stylist, because that's the way my brain works as a stylist. I would have never thought that I was already going to be thinking about retiring myself from this career at this point in my life. I mean, I'm only 30, but as soon as I hit the ground running with this and really saw how this opportunity could help me, that was my goal. I'm like, homegirl's going to be retired by 40 and not doing hair anymore. So all you bitches better find somebody else, because I'm going to be living my best life on my boat with my kids, traveling the world and selling freaking shampoo. And I'm going to pass down all my color clients to somebody else that has great hands, because that's where this business is going to take me. So I'm going to look at the questions and see what we have in there. As a stylist, black shampoo. Okay, no. Do you have a response if your stylist says that they have been told that in the hair world to avoid Monet? Okay, so I used to have people that would come sit in my chair. Literally, you guys, I would be like, I wouldn't know what to say. I would clam up and be like, I wouldn't use that either. I don't know, probably fried your hair. I heard bad shit about it too. A lot of stylists are too scared to even try. So if you could get the product in their hand, let them try for themselves. That is my thing. I'm like, you can't knock until you try. I would just reference me. I don't know. I don't really care if you guys use me or not. Be like, well, homegirl over here, she is a stylist of 8 years, has her own Monet salon, has started only working 3 days a week, has 2 kids, gets to spend more time with them. Tell them my story. Be like, don't you want to be like her? I don't care. Like, you can totally use me. I tell that to my girls all the time. I'm like, use my story. And Jade says that about other people. Like, I be posting Jade in her Cadillac all the time. I don't have a Cadillac yet, y'all. I'm not there, but I'm gonna be. So I just post her in her Cadillac, you know? So the same thing. Like, if you're you need to utilize your community around you to recruit the people you're trying to recruit. And that's where your stories come in. Like, if you are literally recruiting somebody that is a stylist, start putting key points of what I've just talked about on your story, like about retirement, about aligning with a brand that aligns with you. You know, just try to underlie the message in marketing, and use me as a reference is what I would say, and tell them that they can't knock until you try, and send them samples. And then, well, that's a good point. Client in North Carolina. I did take my own products and she was actually impressed, and I sent her your video. Thank you. I think she's hung up on some of the negative articles. That's something she's just going to have. I was hung up on negative stuff too. Yes, baby. I see her. Sorry, my son has our baby kitten over here. Hold on. I'm almost done.
Can you poop on this thing or not?
No, I would like her not to, but just be quiet for 1 more minute, okay? I forgot what I was talking about now.
She's hesitant because of the reviews, I think.
Oh, well, I was too. I was literally texting Jade in my first week of using the products, like, I'm itching, girl. What is going on? I don't know about this. Like, and Jade was just so on top of me and calming, and like, you know, it's new growth that you're purging, but she's so true. And I know a lot of people think like, oh, you know, they're like, as soon as something goes wrong, they want to like just stop. But you have to be comforting. You have to be friendly. You have to say, hey, I've been through it. Or if you haven't, just make it up, and say like, oh, you know, or reference one of us. Like my girlfriend, Kirsten, she's a hairstylist. She went through, even though she used salon grade products, you guys, I was using Creology before I started using Monet, and I still purged. My neck still itched. My pores were still clogged of bull crap. That's all in these products that aren't in ours. And it's a hard thing for a stylist to wrap their head around because we aren't taught these things. And I'm going to be honest with you. I did go to a podunk school here in Niceville, Florida, but even in the hair world, they're so hoity-toity on Orbe and Moroccan oil and all these things that's cool and professional that they just can't get past the thought of using something different than that because it's an MLM. So you just kind of have to break that shell down and be supportive is my best thing, and be educational and just do what you can. I wouldn't say waste your time on trying to convince somebody if it's just like, you know, to a point where you've said what you can do. Some people are just going to push back. I have VIPs that do that to me, and I can only spend so much time and put so much effort into explaining to them. And if they don't want to listen, then they don't want to listen. But I will tell you that half the time, a lot of them come back around. So I would just tell her that the negative articles too, most of them are like lawsuits, but we have never lost a lawsuit to our company. So you can look that up. We are the #1 hair care in the nation. You can look that up too. We are the anti-aging hair care of the nation. Just always come back with positive energy so that they really can't combat you is my best advice.
That's awesome. The other thing too is that like Pantene, Redken, Pureology, Olaplex, if you type in Olaplex lawsuits, 17
all have
pages
them.
come up with Google. Nobody talks about that. Nobody says
It's
that. I
because
went into
we're put on the
Ulta.
spotlight because we're an MLM company and we are the #1 hair care in the nation. So all of those other hair care lines are a little bit jealous and they're looking to put forth what they can to knock us down. That's my opinion and I'm sticking to it.
I love it. This was so good and so helpful. We will send the recording. I hope everybody's questions got answered. We'll save it to the YouTube page. Kirsten, you killed it. That was so good. So helpful.
Awesome. I'm so glad I could help you guys.
Thank you, girls, for your time. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.